Ethan was just like any other 12-year-old boy living in the quiet town of Hillridge. He had a small group of close friends, loved playing soccer after school, and spent his evenings reading adventure novels or helping his mother in the garden. Life was simple, predictable, and comforting. He looked forward to birthdays, family outings, and his dreams of becoming an astronaut one day. But everything changed one late autumn afternoon when he and his friends discovered a hidden cave while exploring the woods behind the school. Curious and excited, they ventured inside, flashlights in hand, laughing and shouting as echoes bounced off the rocky walls. Deep within, Ethan found a glowing crystal embedded in the cave wall. Unlike anything they had seen before, it shimmered with colors that seemed to shift and dance with every movement. As he reached out to touch it, a sudden jolt of energy pulsed through his body, making him stumble backward. His friends rushed to him, asking if he was okay, and although he felt a bit dizzy, he assured them he was fine. They left the cave, promising to keep it their secret. But from that day forward, Ethan's life would never be the same. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and while his friends grew taller, their voices deeper, and their interests more mature, Ethan remained exactly the same. His face, height, and voice did not change. At first, he thought his growth was just delayed, but by the time he was 16 and still looked and sounded like he was 12, concern settled into his family's hearts. Doctors were baffled. Tests, scans, and medical consultations brought no answers. Ethan's body was not sick, but it had simply stopped aging. While time flowed forward for everyone else, it seemed to stand still for him. His friends, once his closest companions, moved on to high school and college, eventually starting careers and families of their own, while Ethan remained behind, watching it all happen from the same unchanged frame. He stopped going to school, unable to keep up with people who believed he was far younger than he truly was. Strangers assumed he was a gifted child when he spoke about complex topics with insight and maturity. But inside, he felt trapped with an aging soul in a young shell, invisible to the passage of time. Years went by, and Ethan watched the seasons repeat, the tree shedding and growing leaves again and again, while he remained stuck in a body that no longer reflected his true age. His parents aged gracefully, supporting him with love and unwavering hope, even as the world forgot about him. Scientists and researchers occasionally reached out, intrigued by his condition, but none could provide an explanation or cure. At first, Ethan had hoped he would resume aging eventually, but decades passed, and with each new year, that hope began to fade. He tried to live a quiet life, writing, painting, learning new things, but a lingering sadness always followed him. He missed growing up, the shared milestones, the experiences of becoming an adult alongside his peers. One crisp morning, now over 60 years since the cave incident, Ethan returned to the woods that had changed his fate. The forest had changed with time, and the path was overgrown, but his memories led him back. To his surprise, the cave was still there, though nature had nearly hidden its entrance. Entering cautiously, flashlight in hand once more, he found the glowing crystal, still pulsing faintly with light. This time, he didn't rush forward. Instead, he stood in silence, contemplating what had happened all those years ago. Perhaps this place held answers, or perhaps it simply held the key to what had happened to him. Gathering courage, he sat before the crystal and began to speak not aloud, but within his heart expressing the sorrow, the questions, the longing for time lost. As if responding, the crystal began to glow more brightly, its light warming the cave with a golden hue. Ethan reached out again, this time without fear. When his fingers brushed the surface, a wave of warmth surged through him. Not jolting, but gentle, like the embrace of sunlight. The cave began to tremble softly, and the crystal slowly dissolved into light, surrounding Ethan completely. Then, everything went dark. When he awoke, he was lying outside the cave, the morning sun rising above the treetop. At first, He thought nothing had changed, but as he stood and looked at his reflection in a small puddle nearby, he gasped. His face, still youthful, had begun to show subtle signs of change. Over the next weeks, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in decades. His body was changing, slowly at first, then more rapidly. He grew taller, his voice deepened, his features matured. It was as if all the lost years were now catching up in a gentle, graceful rush. By the time he appeared to be in his late 20s, the process steadied, and he found himself at peace with the body that finally matched the wisdom of his heart. Rejoining the world was not easy, but Ethan was determined. He legally updated his identity, shared his story through articles and interviews, and inspired millions with his tale of patience, resilience, and hope. Scientists continued studying his case, now not as an unsolved mystery, but as a remarkable phenomenon with lessons still unfolding. With the gift of time restored, Ethan dedicated himself to helping others appreciate the beauty of every fleeting moment. He gave talks, mentored young dreamers, and even revisited the schools he once attended, where his story became legend. Though he had missed much, he had gained a profound understanding of life's true value, not in the number of years lived, but in the depth of meaning within them. And so, after living through years of stillness and sorrow, Ethan found his rhythm again in the music of life, embracing each day with a heart full of gratitude and a soul that had waited patiently to bloom.